I knew him as Solas. Smart, thoughtful, loved to hear himself talk. But long ago, he had a different name. The Dreadwolf. Ancient elven god of lies, or heroic rebel against tyranny, depending on which story you believe. In his desperate fight against the corrupt elven gods, Solas imprisoned them, creating a veil that split our world from the raw magic of the Fade. He had won. But the veil cost the elves everything. Their magic, their freedom, even their immortality. Now, Solas wants to tear down that veil and undo the damage he caused, even if that means our world has to burn. Somebody's gotta stop him, and that's where you come in. So, where were we? Oh, right. Him. Our best plan is to stop the Dreadwolf before he can perform his ritual. After following his trail across half the known world, we finally tracked him to Minrathous, capital of the Tevinter Imperium. But to find the Dreadwolf in a city this big, we need a local expert. So, naturally, our story begins where all great stories begin, with the seediest bar in town and a missing contact. Hey, Chuckles. Hope I'm not interrupting.
The veil is a wound inflicted upon this world. It must be healed.
By drowning the world in demons?
I have taken precautions to minimize the damage, Varric.
Minimize the... People are dying right now. You need to listen. Please.
People are always dying. It is what they do.
Why tear down the veil, knowing all the lives it'll cost?
We shared a journey years ago. Do you believe that I would do this if there was some other better option?
The pillar's weak, but it isn't falling. We need to push it. Right. Together. Now!
You came a long way and made a valiant effort, Varric, but this story does not end with my downfall.
Push! Varric! Varric! Oh no, no, no! Nev!
You have no idea what you have done.
Solas? I know what I did. I stopped you from destroying the world.
I was not destroying the world. When you disrupted my ritual, the magical energies pulled me here, into the Fade.
Okay, so that's why you're here. But why am I here?
Your physical body is unconscious, but you shed a few drops of blood at the ritual site. Enough for a tenuous connection.
Blood magic.
Firstly, I abhor the use of blood magic. Secondly, had I the power to control you, I would already have used it.
So all I have to do to get away from you is wake up.
And how much experience do you have willing yourself from sleep to wakefulness?
Can't be that hard.
While you practice, perhaps you would like to hear about the consequences of your actions.
Meaning?
The Evanurus, or as you would call them, the Elven Gods. The creatures that escaped. In ancient times, they ruled the elves, but that was not enough. They sought not just to be obeyed, but to be worshipped. When I rebelled, they drew on the horrific magic of the Blight, corrupting all they saw until I trapped them. Thanks to you, though, I am now trapped, and the blighted Elven Gods walk free.
How am I supposed to trust anything you're saying?
You saw them escape from my prison.
I also saw you bringing down the veil.
I had a plan.
Varric always said you'd have a big explanation for why none of this was your fault.
Varric.
Yeah, he said that's your style. Never quite lies, clever half-truths that let you convince yourself you're doing the right thing. He tried to talk to you anyway, and now he's hurt.
Varric is quite practiced at shading the truth himself.
So those things that got out, you said they were gods?
They said they were gods. Blighted, tyrannical, sadistic gods. It took all my power to imprison them millennia ago, but I am certain you will be fine.
How bad are we talking here?
Their power outstripped my own even before they embraced the corruption of the Blight.
But you did imprison them.
Through trickery. I also had a ritual dagger of pure Lyrian, and a network of mirrors to take me from the lighthouse across the world.
I don't have either of those.
Well then, I expect you will be busy. Elganan and Gillenane are your problem to solve. This is your responsibility now.
Glad you made it here safely. I didn't love our odds without you.
Who, me?
All right, everything's in place. We hit Alganan's island fortress tonight. This is our best chance to free the people he's enslaved. Get in, save as many as you can, and bring them back here to Sanctuary. Be fast and be safe. I'll meet you on the other side. Fen-Haral's scouting ahead. For freedom! For the Dread Wolf!
So, the Dread Wolf is testing his noble rebels against my stronghold. How courageous.
Those memories can hurt you. Take them down! More of Solas's memories. Elganon sent his guards to attack the Dreadwolf's rebels.
So Elgarnon was a bully and a tyrant. We knew that already.
You persist for naught. The people under my rule are not your...
Glad to see we all made it. Elganon's forces are making things interesting.
You, keep moving no matter what. Free those slaves. We'll take everyone else and give the guards something to think about.
We must be swift. Elganon is coming.
Solas sounded frightened.
In his position? Can't blame him in this case.
Thank you all.
There's an alluvion nearby. We'll head there right away.
Go, the Dreadwolf must be waiting for you.
Quickly! Elganon approaches.
Stop his guards. We need to buy time for the captives to get to safety.
I will hold off Elganon himself. For as long as I am able.
There will be a reckoning for this Solas, no matter how far you run.
Let the big asshole rant. Everyone we freed is safe in the crossroads.
Without all of you, well, thank you. But can Elganon find us here?
He cannot. I have made sure of...
Solas?
Elganon is a powerful opponent. My apologies. It is of no consequence. What matters, my friends, is that today, all of us are free.
I think that's it. The memory ends here.
Solas used to risk his life doing this. A hero to his people.
Couldn't last, could it?
His memories seem to condense into that statuette. There must be more to this.
Andaran Atishan, Lassa Gilan.
Spirits, fade friends, come forth. Enter the circle. Reveal yourselves.
Solas. Whatever happened in this memory, he was personally involved.
Spirits, the Dread Wolf asks for your assistance on a crucial mission.
The false gods, the Evanuris, have overreached. I shall humble them. Within this citadel lies a relic, with the power to imprison even a god. With it, I can bring their tyranny to an end, forever.
You are spirits of chaos, disorder, and disruption. We ask you to disrupt the Citadel's defenses. Give us the opening to get that relic. For freedom!
More visions of the past. Solas sent these spirits out to fight the gods. If we're spirits of disruption, let's act like it.
They've changed their plans. Elganon may be a tyrant, but he is not a fool. That means the relic is genuine. We are close. Elganon is afraid. Put our strongest in the vanguard. Prepare to breach the citadel. It will not be easy, but we shall win the day.
Disruption, lead the charge and do what you do best. Whatever champions the gods send against you, bring them down. Disruption fought to the last, and it was all for nothing. We couldn't take the Citadel.
Wait, that body's me.
It was not for nothing, my friend. The distraction the spirits gave us allowed our agents to retrieve the relic.
Distraction?
No force could have breached their citadel. But it was necessary for the enemy to believe we were committed. A heavy sacrifice, but one that gave us a real chance to end the war.
You knowingly sent all those spirits to their deaths? Solas, we're supposed to be better than that!
They died true to their nature, doing what they loved, Falasan. Let that be a comfort, that this war did not corrupt them into something different from what they were supposed to be.
A ruse. That's all it was. By this point, Solas didn't care who he sacrificed if it meant stopping the Evanuris.
Maybe they would have volunteered to die for his cause, but he never asked.
Let's see what this fragment can tell us.
When last we spoke, you intended to assault the cruel and the corrupt, in hopes of finding servants of Elganon and Gillenane. Has your search been successful?
You could say that. It looks like both the Venatori and the Antom are working for Elganon and Gillenane.
Unsurprising. The Venatori want magical secrets, and the Antom want to destroy anyone opposing their brutal expansion. Both will readily bow to anyone who promises them power.
And they're using that power to hurt a lot of people. The Antom and the Venatori both have dragons doing their bidding.
Dragons? That is worse than I had feared.
Yeah. We drove off the one the Anton brought to Treviso. Barely.
Have you determined how the dragons are being directed? If it is blood magic, it may be possible to disrupt their control.
The dragons were blighted. We think that's what let the gods control them.
The Blight. Of course.
The Blight seems to be the gods' favored tool right now. We ran into Venatori, who could control Darkspawn.
Elganon would not bestow such power unless the Darkspawn were to serve as the main force of his army. And I suspect Gillenane will see the Darkspawn as new subjects for her modifications.
We've already run into a few Darkspawn nobody has seen before. That's in addition to the blighted dragons.
That is the fate Elganon and Gillenane planned for this world then. Corruption and blighted slavery.
That's rich, coming from the guy who wanted to drown the world in demons.
Do you truly believe my goal was to destroy this world?
I believe your goal, like you said, was to transfer the gods to a better prison, the one you're stuck in now. And you were willing to tear down the veil and destroy this world while you did so.
The veil is a wound I cut into the Fade in a moment of desperation, while making their prison. It should not exist. I had a host of spirits ready to help when the veil fell. They would have minimized the loss of life.
Do you have any idea what you sound like? You could have actually saved the world from the Blight, but instead, you chose to kill thousands of people with your vanity project.
It is not vanity. I broke this world. I am the only one who can fix it.
Spoken like a god.
I am not a god. I am as I have always been. A man, all too aware of his failings. But equally aware that if he did not act, accepting the judgment it would bring, all would be lost. They call me the Dread Wolf. What will they call you when this is over?
I don't care what they call me. If they're calling me anything, it means they're still alive. That's all that matters.
Acceptance. You are willing to face the consequences your actions may one day bring because the world needs you. I believe I can work with that. If the gods are using dragons, you will wish to find someone trained to fight them. Have you unlocked the Lighthouse Illuvian?
Yes, we found the crossroads. It's still confusing, though.
I cannot help you from in here. You may need to find an expert in the magic of the Fade. And if the Darkspawn are to be Elganon's army, you will need Grey Wardens to fight them.
I've got a few of them. Their leaders don't trust me right now, though.
I have faith in you, Rook. You seem to have a knack for gaining the cooperation of your adversaries.
So this elven god thinks we need a dragon hunter and a Fade expert.
He's right, about the dragon hunter at least. The shadow dragons did all they could. The dragon was just too much. The moment the dust settled, the Venatori rushed in. Guess they knew it was coming. Nev's staying for now. She said she'll be back soon. But at least you took care of yours.
We hurt it, but didn't kill it. The dragon flew off before we could put it down.
Treviso could have used a dragon hunter. That much is true.
Don't remind me. Fewer people injured and we wouldn't have to worry about it coming back.
We should not forget the second dragon in Minrathos. We ought to see what we can do to help. However, there is no telling how long Nev will be helping the Shadow Dragons with the aftermath.
Hey, let's not get stuck in our regrets, all right?
Hang on a minute. Not only have you retained the services of a demon assassin, you're also taking advice from the elven god who attempted to tear down the veil.
Spite is my problem.
That's what they always say. Rook, Lucanus is one thing, but do you really trust this Solas?
Trust is such a strong word, you know?
So you don't trust him? All right then.
So a Fade expert and a dragon hunter. I'll ask around about dragon hunters and see what turns up. Come talk to me in a bit.
And I've been corresponding with someone about the lighthouse's reverberative oscillations and the resulting dimensional peculiarities. Oh, sorry. Not relevant. I'll get a message through to a Fade expert immediately.
See, Rook? Nothing to worry about.
All right. We all know what to do. Let's get going.
You cannot do this, Algernon. You swore that we would give up our commands when this horrific war was over.
Our people need our leadership. If you're unwilling, leave.
Our people must rebuild, and we must help unite them.
So, we did not fight for freedom, but to conquer this land and our own.
We fought to win, and now the Evenuris are as gods. I do not answer to Mythal's annoying lapdog.
The people are afraid. They must believe in something.
They need strength.
And wisdom.
They need gods who can protect them.
We are not gods. You will learn that.
Every lapdog hides a wolf inside.
That was strange. They were speaking Elven, but I understood it.
I believe we have experienced a memory in each of our native languages.
Not just any memory. One of the Dreadwolves.
And the mages who declared themselves my gods? Well, mine and Davrin's, and Rook's.
There they are, the Elven creators. I used to be jealous of the Dalish elves, because they got to learn all these stories I only barely knew. Now I get to see the truth of it. And it turns out, the truth is awful.
Awful is an understatement. I wish they were monsters. Something grand and terrible. Seeing them like that, they're no better than Tevinter nobles.
But no worse, either. They were people. And people can let you down.
All right. What else can we take from this memory?
Elgranon was hungry for power. Did anything he could to get it, and to hold on to it.
Then Solas, furious at Elganon's installing himself as a despot, started his rebellion.
There's another moving part in this. Mythal. She was keeping the peace.
Mythal and Solas were close. The Inquisition found a temple to Mythal, and there were wolf statues everywhere.
Then she sides with Elgranon over him. A betrayal.
I think I get where Mythal is coming from.
Really?
You've just finished some big war, everyone is exhausted, and now Elganon won't give up power? If Mythal sided with Solas, would Elganon have backed down?
Not a chance.
It would have led to another war. Mythal tried to keep the peace.
And Solas must see that, but still can't accept that she chose peaceful politics over his ideals.
Perhaps these murals aren't simply memories. They're what Solas wishes to forget.
His regrets. That means they're a way to learn his weak points.
Why are we worried about Solas? He's trapped.
Right. But the Dreadwolf was the god of trickery. He's looking for a way out. Bet on it.
Meanwhile, keep your eyes open in the crossroads. If there's a way to restore the rest of these murals, Solas would have kept it in his hideaway. It'd be nice to get inside his head for a change.
I was not certain you would come.
You were the one who walked away. I never turn my back when my friend needs me.
The Evenuris seek the magic of the Blight.
Impossible. The Blight is safely sealed away forever.
Though I wish I could believe you. I have sensed the breaking of the wards.
I will investigate your claims. If they forget the danger of the Blight, I will endeavor to remind them.
What if, instead, you left the Evenuris and remained with me? Do you not wish for freedom from this struggle?
Be at peace, love. I will stop them.
As you must. The Blight is our mistake.
Did Mythal call Solas love in that memory?
That's what it sounded like.
So they were doing it.
The elven gods were free with their emotions. They felt things deeply. The way they expressed things, well, it feels romantic to us, but that wasn't really how it was. Back then, I mean.
Nah, they were doing it.
Oh, they were absolutely doing it.
Being with someone you're rebelling against doesn't sound like Solas.
He also met her in secret and talked about how they could run off together.
It sounded so tragic and romantic.
Oh, wait. Never mind. That does sound like him.
So the Dread Wolf goes to Mythal. They might be fighting, but they have history.
And he warns her about the other gods using the Blight. That's more important than his rebellion. It's like kingdoms coming together when an archdemon rises.
Mythal didn't think it was possible. She said the Blight was sealed away. There's an old legend about it. Davrin, the one with Andrul's armor? Not sure it matters.
We're deep in elven lore already. What's the legend say?
Right. Well, Andrul was the goddess of the hunt. She put on armor, magic armor, made us something called the Void, drove her mad.
I remember this one. The other gods were afraid Andrul would turn on them. She was doing all kinds of horrible things, causing plagues. It does sound like the Blight.
Well, it all ends with Mythal fighting Andrul. After, Mythal turned into a dragon.
She what? Why didn't you start with that?
Anyway, she took Andrul's armor away. Then Andrul's madness left, and peace returned.
Intriguing. So it's possible Andrul stumbled onto the magic of the Blight.
And when Andrul went mad, Mythal took it from her and locked it away.
Until someone started using it again.
Okay. Solas warns Mythal about the other gods using the Blight. It's not just bad, it's something bad he feels responsible for. The Blight was our mistake.
How is the Blight their mistake? Did they find it? Did they make it? What does that mean?
Whatever it was, it convinced Mythal to take him seriously.
So Mythal goes off to investigate what Solas says. Then, what? It's too clean.
Seems plenty messy with them doing it.
But this isn't just a memory. It's something Solas wanted to hide. What's the crime? What did we see here that he feels guilty about?
I think I might know. When the Inquisitor was saving the world from the breach, she met Mythal.
What? Like in a dream?
It was complicated. She helped the Inquisition. There was a magic pond and a dragon. Nice! The point is, she also said the other elven gods betrayed her, killed her.
Okay, sorry, point of order. If they killed Mythal, how was she still around to help the Inquisition?
Rook, as a fellow watcher, you know there are ways.
I'm not saying she couldn't help from beyond the grave. I'm just asking how.
Elven god magic? She'd spent centuries gathering strength and sharing people's bodies, I think.
If it was a truly benign possession, that speaks to her character.
Solas tried to do the right thing by warning Mythal about the other gods using the Blight, but he got her killed.
Well, it's not just that she died. What do you mean, Tosh? It's... Ugh. There was stuff he wanted to tell her, but he waited too long, and then she was dead. He never got to make it right. That twists you up.
That's it. There's our crime.
Doesn't really tell us anything we can use, though.
We know more than we did. That's something.
Then I guess we keep our eyes open if we come across more of these memories.
You dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power!
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mythal, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
So he locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elganon and Gillenane are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the Veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solas sprung his trap?
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solas trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlethan, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just... the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did. The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Did we?
Lace, I don't think you'll ever fully know whether the Chant of Light is literally true or not. What matters is that, in its better moments, the Chantry encourages people to be kind and help each other.
What do we tell the Chantry about this? Do we tell them about this?
People are already questioning because of Elganon and Gillenane. It hasn't stopped them believing.
I guess people need that comfort, even if some parts of it aren't totally true.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
The Elven Gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
Ah. Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit. I need your wisdom, Solas. To withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elganon. I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
What?
This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
I'd rather go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey, Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but... what?
We hid the truth for as long as we could, but... yeah. Balaradavran and I have secretly been spirits this whole time.
Not funny.
I don't know. Sounds like something a rage demon would say.
You're going to confuse Tosh.
What? I wasn't listening. There weren't any dragons in this one.
To be clear, this memory only shows that the first elves originated from spirits. You 3 are no more spirits than anyone else conceived naturally.
Conceived naturally? Guess I'll go ask my mother.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
If the world learned about this and it led to attacks against elves...
Elves have enough trouble as it is down in Ferelden.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Ireland, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one would believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here? Solas himself was a spirit.
What kind do you think he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
Oh, okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solas didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Right. He only agreed after Mythal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solas was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw with Elganon seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solas regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mythal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented, if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Have you created what we need?
With this, the proper ritual will sunder every Titan from its spirit. But you must know those severed dreams will certainly be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger. It is awful what we're doing.
And the only way to end this war.
Solas made the weapon that killed the Titans. No, not killed. He cut away their dreams and left them broken and mindless. He passed me in the halls of Skyhold for a year. He made polite conversation, and he knew. He knew what he did.
Lace, what my people did to yours, that's unforgivable.
You don't need to apologize.
Well, someone should.
Our leaders attacked the Titans for their lyrium. Then, when the war turned against the elves, our leaders did this.
And when the war was over, they enslaved your ancestors. No. Solas, Mythal, and Elgarnon are the ones who need to apologize.
To do such a thing. No wonder regret eats away at Solas.
No, it's worse than that. That isn't what Solas regrets. Those severed dreams will be driven mad. A disembodied blight of pain and anger.
Mierda.
You can't. That's not possible.
When a warden hears the calling, it's like a song in their mind. Sound familiar to you, Lace?
The song of lyrium. Of the Titans.
We think of the Blight as this monstrous force with no mercy, no compassion. Evil incarnate. Instead, it's a caged animal. Mistreated and imprisoned for centuries. Until all it knows is fear.
In all my talks with him, Solas hates the Blight more than anything. Even more than Elganon. But it wasn't hatred. It was guilt. He knew this could happen, and he still didn't stand up to Mythal and stop it.
Each of these memories has been a deeper regret, and almost all of them involve Mythal.
Only one mural left to uncover by my count. If we find it, we'll see what's worse than this.
You're awake. How's your head? The guards really knocked you about.
Well, it's...
Do you remember our mission? Gillinane's lab. The wolf sent us to infiltrate her testing grounds. Things didn't go perfectly to plan, but the wolf smuggled in help. A key. If you can fight, grab the key and we'll run for it. Just be ready for whatever the witch has in store.
She thinks I'm one of Solas's agents. So Gillinane was experimenting with Blight and Darkspawn. The Blight infested her lab. The memory's not over. We need to fight our way out of here before Gillinane finds us.
Wolf, you came for us. Your key was enough.
This unnatural corruption demanded my personal attention. It is strong. It has already blocked the escape route I had planned. We will need another way to the surface.
Let's all split up and find it.
I will destroy what corruption I can. You must cut through these monstrosities before Gillinane unleashes something worse.
Solas sounded rattled.
The Blight shook him up.
Here, the blessing you deny.
Wolf, help me! Ah!
Damn! Gillinane got her.
You would unleash a blight on this world and call it a masterwork! You, who were the most sensitive of us!
All that I am belongs to the pursuit of creation. You chose to constrain yourself. I must climb to the heights only understood by gods. I go now to join them.
Wolf, you are greater than any of them. Please, help me.
Come on. Be the god she needs. Help her.
I am so sorry I failed you. There is only one way I can help you now.
Wolf.
This place and the corruption within it must be eradicated. No trace can be allowed to spread. Go. Your work here is done. There is no need for you to witness what I must do.
It's over. Solas destroyed the lab, the Blight that was here, and his agent.
If I really thought I could stop the Blight for good, wonder what I would have done.
This fragment might tell us more.
I knew that you would find me soon enough. You need the power of a god, the strength that I alone still carry.
The blighted Evanuris will soon break free from their prison. I must make a stronger one that can contain them.
While the prison is important, it is not the only goal you seek.
Why should I not tear down the veil and bring back immortality to all the Elven people? They deserve it.
The Elven people of today do not deserve to see the world they love be torn apart to salve your conscience.
I must fix what I have broken. I am sorry.
As am I, old friend.
Solas killed Mythal? After all that? Is this another memory from a different time?
No. He wore that same outfit in the Inquisition. We knew Solas woke up in this world without most of his power. Now we know how he got it back.
By killing the only other god around and stealing her power.
All that epic magic and godly power. In the end, it comes down to love and murder. Same as always.
Every big mistake Solas made is tied to Mythal. He sacrificed his life as a spirit to join her.
He sacrificed his morals when he created the dagger to stop the Titans.
When the other gods struck her down, he destroyed the Elven Empire to avenge her.
Then he wakes up in this world, where everything's gone but his mistakes. And there she is, alive.
And after all he's done, she sides against him again.
All these mistakes are his fault. And hers too. If she won't help him fix the world, of course he has to kill her.
So, how does everything we know help us now?
He's being honest about fighting the Blight. Whatever happens, he won't risk letting it back out into the world.
Agreed. But he has a plan to escape that prison, and not one we'll like.
He turned on Mythal, the one person he was actually loyal to. There's no way he won't turn on us.
He's a spirit, or was once. He might be able to possess someone, affect minds, all the things spirits do.
He created the veil. His very nature is tied to it. That will be a source of strength, but also a potential weakness.
Mythal has him all messed up. Anything about her or Elgernon is gonna make him angry. Sloppy.
Solas thinks he knows what's best for everyone. Anything he does, he'll do while telling himself he's the hero.
Solas has caused a lot of damage, but he's not like Elgernon, trying to wreck the world to rule it. He's trying to repair the damage he caused, and he knows he made mistakes. There might be hope for him.
You don't think he'll turn on us?
No, he's totally gonna turn on us. I mean, after that.
You have witnessed the Protector's tale, Dweller, almost to its end.
Almost? How can there be more?
When the mighty fall, their echoes cross the ages. An audience is warranted. Speak with your visitor. She awaits you in the crossroads.
How did you get here?
I did tell you I had my ways through Illuvians when I introduced you to the Inquisitor, did I not?
The Illuvians in general, yes, but not the Dreadwolf's crossroads.
I would think you have more pressing questions at the moment. Questions about Solas and Mythal?
Mythal?
The two gods have always been linked, have they not? First, when Mythal bade her companion spirit to abandon the Fade and take on mortal form. Then, when Solas spilled Mythal's mortal blood, that he might absorb her power as his own.
Wait. How do you know exactly what we saw of Solas's past?
Think upon it, Rook. You saw for yourself in the Dreadwolf's memories. When Mythal stood against the gods' manipulations of the Blight, she was betrayed and struck down. Yet she survived and returned ages later to aid the Inquisition in its hour of need. How?
So, if Mythal was originally a spirit, maybe that's how she survived her body's death.
Very good. Mythal was a spirit turned elven. And when her body was struck down, to spirit she returned. Her essence sheltered in a willing mortal vessel. Over the centuries, she journeyed from host to host, slowly amassing her former power anew. Until once again, she was struck down, on this occasion, by Solas. He absorbed her power, but not her memories.
Then where did they... Wait. You?
As you say.
You're Mythal? That's why the ambient magic around you is so fractured.
Such a flattering picture you paint of this ancient bond.
What? That was like how Elgernon and Gillenane can talk in your head, but...
'Twas Mythal you heard, her echoes. Yet I am not the goddess returned.
What are you, then?
I once feared Mythal would consume me were I to carry her, but 'twas not so. I remain free-willed and mortal. What I now possess is but a spark of Mythal, shadowed memories through which to sift for meaning. As to our admixture, I suspect you have questions.
How can you carry Mythal's soul if you're not an elf?
Her spark has sheltered within both elves and humans who were sympathetic to her in thought and circumstance. Mythal's last host was a woman wronged, trapped by those sworn to love her. We may readily imagine their kinship.
The fall of our civilization, the wars, everything elves went through. Where was Mythal for us then?
After the gods' betrayal, she was a shadow of her former self, bereft of her power, slowly regaining her strength over the centuries. So she aided the elves as she could, speaking in dreams and offering counsel that ended blights and prevented wars.
At least now we know. Do you have information we can use against Gillenane or Elganon? Or Solas?
The last time Mythal faced Elganon and Gillenane, she was struck down by the very dagger you now carry.
What about Solas?
You may recall he murdered Mythal's former host to claim her godly might as his own. I hoard no untapped magical secrets, Rook. What I do possess, I share freely with you and the Veil Jumpers.
All right. So, there's the soul of an elven god inside you. How does that even happen?
Mythal's last host was my mother, Flemeth.
Oh.
When I learned she intended me to become the next receptacle of an ancient god's soul, I feared naught would be left of my own. It inevitably came to pass on a deep night. I was awakened by the presence of a blaze of magic in the shape of a woman who both was and was not my mother.
I don't think I'd recover from that.
Neither did I, at the start. Mythal's memories were both gift and burden, this blazing woman told me, but I must accept them of my own accord. The decision was paralyzing. What would it mean to become such a host? What would be lost if I refused? In the end, 'twas something in my mother's voice which guided me.
What was that?
Regret. Not the regret of a god, but of a mother who knew she would never see me again. And so, my mind remains my own. What I gained was knowledge. Both Mythal's and of those who bore her.
You would have met Solas in the Inquisition, right?
I did indeed. 'Twas before I possessed Mythal's memories. At the time I thought Solas a scowling elven apostate whose sole passion was finding arguments. He heard me, in all my ignorance, expound on the histories of the elven people, explaining legends he had witnessed himself.
Bet he loved that.
'Tis not a memory that brings me pride.
You didn't come out here just to tell me you're Mythal.
I am not Mythal in her entirety, but yes, the Dreadwolf has occasion to visit you in dreams, where he portions out advice. And now, after finding his memories, you have peered into his deepest sorrows. Tell me then, what do you make of Solas?
I should ask you. Mythal knew Solas better than anyone.
I would influence your answer. Or do you mean to discover if I would stand directly against the Dread Wolf, were there a need?
Would you?
I shall aid you in any way but that, even had I the power. What has passed between Solas and Mythal? I beg you, do not ask this of me again.
Every decision he made, Solas thought he could save people, stop things from getting worse. Now his only way forward is a plan so terrible his last friends had to stop it.
An unfortunate belief that all paths are closed but those one has already taken.
There might have been a better choice.
'Tis not malice which made Solas your opponent, but conviction, a belief that only he may halt what he set in motion. Yet Solas was once beloved of Mythal. 'Tis his very loyalty and love for his people that led to the tragedy we now face. You may be in a position to determine how it ends, more so than either of you might realize.
Maybe there's a way we all get what we want.
Do you truly believe such a thing?
Well, maybe at least what we deserve.
If you would shape the outcome of your battle, I've one last secret to share. When Mythal was struck down by the other gods, it was with her own lyrium dagger, the dagger you now carry. Solas recovered it from Elganon, and from it extracted a fragment of Mythal that had lain hidden within its depths. This fragment, a younger sister to the one I carry, if you will, resides here, in the crossroads. I can open the way for you. Find her, survive the encounter, and the essence you obtain will aid you in times to come.
Another fragment of Mythal? In addition to the one inside you?
You are aware of what the word fragment means, are you not? One small piece of many, formed when something greater is broken. The first elves were spirits, as you well know, and when a spirit is broken, it may shatter into pieces, each holding part of the original. Among the ancient elves who became known as gods, Dirthaman and his brother, Falondine, are but one example.
All of that sounded great until survive the encounter.
You know Solas, and have seen Elganon, and memories of Mythal. They are creatures of emotion, as all spirits are. The fragment of Mythal that resides in me lived among mortals for thousands of years. She has grown wiser and more patient. This younger sister has not. She is the essence of Mythal as a god. She is unlikely to listen to polite requests, and though she is but a fragment of the goddess, the battle will test you sorely.
If she's just going to attack us, why tell us about her at all? We have enough enemies already.
A fragment of a god's essence is a powerful thing. It may give you options against Elganon and Ghilanane, or against the Dread Wolf himself, should he prove as cunning and treacherous as ever.
You would know this aspect of Mythal better than anyone. Could you try talking to her?
I dare say she would attack me on sight.
Spirits can't get along with fragments of each other.
Spirits, certainly. But the aspects of a self-righteous god who have walked different paths for ages? One bears the insult of her betrayal by the Evanuris, and then by Solas, as fresh wounds, insult upon injury. The other once fell in love with an Alamari chieftain and lived happily in a swamp for centuries. Each reminds the other that another path existed, that they could have been wrong, and nothing angers Mythal like being wrong.
What kind of spirit was Mythal before she became an elf? I know Solas is elven for pride.
Mythal enjoyed ruling and having power, but it came not from the overweening desire to crush resistance, as is the case with Elganon. The emotion that inspired her might best be described as benevolence, a guiding hand inclined to kindness. But like any spirit, when angered or twisted against her purpose, a more violent aspect arose. Where the Dreadwolf's wisdom gave way to pride when the world did not meet his standards, Mythal's benevolence gave way to retribution. After all, when kindness fails, the guilty must be punished.
If I were to try to talk with her, do you have any suggestions?
She will demand respect, but detest flattery. She appreciates righteous anger, but will not tolerate pity. She is, for want of better phrasing, prickly. But if you are determined to try, then I wish you luck.
Thank you for the information, Morrigan.
There is one more thing. if I may. Something whispered not by myself, but Mathal. The elves have learned many of the glories and horrors of ancient Elvenon. Yet your people live in this world now as the old elves never could. Know it as they could not. There is your strength. 'Tis why you shall surpass what came before one day.
Did Mathal see this? Is it a prediction?
A hope from a mother to her distant children, no less beloved than any before them.
How fares your battle?
The gods are moving against Weishaupt and the Grey Wardens. We've heard rumors the Darkspawn are being led by an archdemon.
And you have questions?
I need to know how archdemons relate to the gods. Are they just like the blighted dragons, or are they something else? I also need to know how to deal with the gods if they show up at Weishaupt.
I propose a bargain. I will answer your question if you answer mine.
What?
How are the Grey Wardens? Do they understand the truth of the danger yet?
We've been through this already. You agreed to help me.
What did you think my help would look like, Rook? I need to know that you are prepared.
You know I could just lie to you, right?
Indeed. But the truth is merely recalled, while a lie must be constructed. Knowing you would expend the effort to construct that lie rather than answer truthfully would tell me a great deal.
The First Warden refuses to listen.
As I feared.
I tried diplomacy. I tried being firm. Nothing worked.
When I asked why you should be trusted to lead the fight, you denied that you were even the leader. That sufficed for me. But the Grey Wardens believe in dedication and authority. They already see themselves as the perfect choice to fight the Darkspawn. You cannot defeat Elganan and Gillenane without the Wardens. What will you do to bring them to your side?
All I can really do is keep trying to get through to them.
Have you ever ridden home in a wagon and felt the streets go from paved to dirt beneath the wheels? The horse is slow, and everything grows quiet as you're near home. What do you call that feeling?
I don't really have a word for it.
No, you do not. Elganan destroyed that emotion. He burned it from the mind of every living being. There were spirits of that feeling, just as there are spirits of joy, or fear, or despair. I begged them to fight.
What happened to them?
They waited too long. Without the emotion in this world to focus on, they faded until nothing remained. When you grow quiet, it is a part of your soul reaching for a feeling and finding emptiness. Because I failed.
I understand. I'm not going to fail.
How? What will you do?
I don't have to convince all of them. I just have to convince the First Warden.
Or remove him.
Enjoyable as that is to imagine, I doubt the rest of the Wardens would approve.
Did you know the Evanuris once numbered many more than those whose names survive in the Elven Pantheon? One warlord was particularly cruel. I sought to free his slaves, but so fearsome was his reputation that none would join me.
What did you do?
I made people laugh at him.
How did that help?
For 12 years. Every sound near him, from whispered pleas to shouted oaths to crackling fire, all became mocking laughter. His mind broke under the ridicule, and when he fell, his slaves rose up and joined me.
I doubt laughter is going to work on the First Warden.
If not that, then what?
Whatever it takes.
Easily said, but it will have to be enough for now. You have answered my question, and I owe you an answer in return.
Yes. The old gods of Tevinter, the archdemons.
There never were Tevinter gods. The archdemons, as you call them, were always merely the weapons of the Evanuris.
All right. Let's hope we can find the gods before they find their weapons.
Unfortunately, the Dragon Thrall's life force is bound to the Evanurus as both power and protection. You will not be able to kill or likely even harm one of the Evanurus until their Dragon Thrall is slain.
The old stories of the Tevinter gods have them whispering in the dreams of ancient magisters. How did they do that, if they were just tools of the elven gods?
The archdemons were once high dragons. The Evanurus bound them as a source of power. When I imprisoned the gods, their dragons remained free. That was my mistake.
How so?
I never bound a dragon to myself, for I believed that to enslave another creature was immoral. As such, I did not understand the power that connection gave. I thought the prison I had made was perfect. But their dragons were the conduit through which they spoke to dreaming minds.
What can you tell me about the archdemons themselves?
Each is different, shaped by the whims and ego of its master. Elganon is the Lord of Tyranny. He would have ruled alone had Mythal not forced him to share power. Those who are strong, he molds into dictators themselves, with visions of godhood. Those who are weak, he crushes. His archdemon reflects him. It is huge, to feed his ego, the epitome of dragonkind, bent to his will.
Damn. Tell me what you really think of the guy.
He is cruelty and arrogance personified. All of the Evanurus were flawed, but he made all of them worse. By contrast, Gillenane was a servant of Andrul, whose skill at making monsters earned her promotion to the Evanurus. She is brilliant, ambitious, and unconstrained by anything you would understand as morality. In a kinder world, you would never need to see what she has done to her archdemon. In this world, I only hope you kill it quickly. In any event, the Evanurus will not be vulnerable until their archdemons are dead.
It says a lot about these talks that kill an archdemon is the easy part.
It will not be easy. But you are this world's only hope. I would not suggest this path if I did not believe you could succeed.
Oh, the god of lies believes in me.
Even with their dragons dead, the Evanurus are powerful and well protected. You will need to use my dagger, the one you recovered. It can pierce their enchantments and strike them down.
All right. Kill the archdemons, then use the dagger to take down the gods.
Even a single opportunity to strike the Evanurus down will be rare, fleeting, and costly. You will not have another chance to catch them unawares. When you strike, you must be fully prepared. The fall of Weishaupt reverberated across the Fade, as did the fall of an archdemon. But unless I am mistaken, both Elganon and Gillenane yet stand.
We took down Gillenane's archdemon, but we weren't able to kill her.
And how are you doing?
Honestly, what happened at Weishaupt hit me hard.
You saw the Venatori seize control of Minrathous. What makes Weishaupt harder to bear?
This time, I was in charge. The Grey Wardens listened to my plan. My team followed orders. Everyone was depending on me. But we couldn't kill Gillenane. Weishaupt fell because I failed.
Rook, I led a rebellion against Elganon for 100 of your lifetimes. I have been where you now stand. Do you know how many times I had to order my rebels to retreat when we were outmatched in raw power? You rendered Gillenane mortal and escaped with your lives. The sting of wishing you had done more will push you to improve. But Weishaupt was a victory, and your team will see your passion, even if you must conceal the extent of your own pain. How are your companions, after what happened?
They have what it takes to stop the gods. I just need to get them to believe it.
Indeed.
They must know beyond any doubt that you believe in them. You cannot stand against Elganon and Gillenane with logic. Those motivated by greed or self-interest will change alliances, but those who serve you with passion and loyalty will follow wherever you lead, even to their deaths if necessary.
I'm not planning to order anyone to their deaths.
If you gain their loyalty, they will need no orders. They will volunteer.
I can't build these people up knowing I might have to send them to their deaths. There's always another option.
Perhaps you are right. Building your team is the best way to minimize the chance of such an order becoming necessary.
I'll keep that in mind. Do you have any suggestions on our next move against the gods?
If you oppose Elganon and Gillenane's minions, you will get your opportunity.
You think one of the Antam or Venatori commanders will help us find the gods?
Possibly. But more importantly, you will aggravate them. You rendered Gillenane mortal at Weishaupt. It is an embarrassment, an insult, neither she nor Elganon can ignore. If you continue to disrupt their plans, you will not need to track them down. They will come to you.
You think I can goad the gods into making a mistake?
I have absolute faith in your ability to aggravate enemies who should know better than to underestimate you. One final warning. You have survived a confrontation with Gillenane, which few still live to claim. But her power pales in comparison to Elganon's. If he takes the field himself, remember, in a fight such as ours, escaping to fight another day is a victory.
You know, I think about Solas sometimes. He's been trapped by his mistakes for eons. When you're blinded by sorrow and pain, you need someone to help you past it. But he's too proud for that. He believes he's alone, even when he doesn't have to be.
He'll never ask for help, but that doesn't mean we can't offer it anyway. But do you think he can be helped?
Solas took this path because he thinks he has no choice. But the Inquisitor believes there is another way for him. For them. She could save him, if he would just let her. No one's beyond help, Rook. No one. I have to believe it. Or none of this matters. Why did Morrigan want to meet in Minrathous? Isn't she helping the Veil Jumpers in Arlathan?
Indeed. But today we have a guest, and she needed the anonymity that only a city provides.
Well, look who it is.
Good to see you, Lace.
Rook, you remember how Varric and I served the Inquisition? Well, this is Inquisitor Llewellyn, the woman who led us all.
Andaran Artishan.
Anathara. I wish we could be meeting without our gods threatening to blight the world.
A blight that spreads wider with each passing heartbeat.
Morrigan and Harding have told me about what you've accomplished since taking over for Varric. You've put together an impressive team, and you've got the best chance, maybe the only chance, to stop Elganon and Gillenane.
I won't let you down.
Don't worry about me. Worry about the people you've recruited, and about the people depending on you. I only sealed the breach because I had people like Cassandra, Leliana, and Cullen with me from the start. Without Dorian's magic and Josephine's diplomacy, we never would have come together to stop Corypheus. Years later, I had to disband the Inquisition, but I never lost the friends who had gotten me through it all. Ultimately, they're the only ones you can really count on. Do right by them, and you'll find your way.
We've got the makings of a good team, I think. We'll do our best.
And while you do so, Rook, the Inquisitor will do her best to ensure that the rest of the world remains intact. A daunting prospect, given that most of the South is under siege by Darkspawn.
It's that bad?
If not for the Inquisitor, the South would have collapsed completely. She has not been idle while you assembled your team.
I thought the gods were mostly active up here. It's really that bad in the south?
Elganon and Gillenane have indeed restricted their activities to the north. But the forces they deployed to the south, the strange new Darkspawn, have spread fear and corruption greater than any blight in history.
Darkspawn have cut through the center of Orlais. Valrorio and Halam Shiral are barely holding out. Ferelden would have fallen already, if not for help from Orzammar. With Denerim lost, the Fereldans are holding the line at Redcliffe. The Free Marchers have the worst of it. Acting Viscount Aveline Valen led the evacuation of Kirkwall. She's taking her people and what's left of her army to help Prince Vale keep Starkhaven.
Maker, we didn't know. My ma...
Don't worry. I called in a favor with the Divine. Your mother's safe with some old friends.
Thank you.
The Inquisition might be gone, but my name still carries some weight. I've used it to get people working together where they can. Again, the South is my problem, not yours, Rook. You stop the gods, and I'll make sure the rest of Thedas doesn't fall to the Blight.
If the south is in such turmoil, why come up here just to talk? And how did you get here so fast?
Did you think you were the only one to unlock the secrets of the Illuvians?
Morrigan helped the Inquisition use the Illuvians to travel.
While I lack the Dreadwolf's Viravus, I may still scurry between the walls of this world to be where I might do the most good. The Inquisitor asked to meet you, and I thought it might help you to meet her.
I've been having trouble getting people in authority to listen to us. If you help with some of your political strength...
My political strength? Tevinter hates me. The Venatori helped make sure of that. And while I have a few friends in the Wardens, their leadership hasn't much cared for me since we clashed at Adamant Fortress.
The Inquisitor did not come all this way to leave you with empty words, however. She brought something no one else could.
A wolf statuette? We've found others like it in the crossroads. Where'd you find yours?
I found it right around the time Solas's ritual failed, when he was pulled into the Fade. We've examined the magic, and it's tied to the Veil. To him. Somehow.
Solas is ancient, and his magic is part of him in a way far beyond that of mortals. I suggest you take it to the crossroads and see if something in the lighthouse calls to it. Perhaps it will yield some insight into your new ally.
Solas is trapped in the Fade. He's not my biggest concern at the moment.
Solas is trapped in your dreams, and while he cannot match Elganon or Gillenane in strength, he is far more cunning. He is the Dreadwolf. He led a rebellion that lasted centuries. How many times do you think the gods thought him trapped and helpless?
Solas was... important to me. If this statuette helps you understand him, if it uncovers something that... Honestly, I don't know. I wish I did. But this feels like a part of him. And whatever he and I once were, I think... I hope... it might help you.
We should go, Inquisitor. The armies in the south need you.
Right. Harding, stay sharp. You're my eyes in the north.
Always, Inquisitor.
Rook, good luck. If I come across anything else that can help, you'll be the first to know.
Thank you. These meetings can't be good for business. I'm here, Inquisitor. It isn't just Inquisitor, is it? You were someone before that.
Clan Llewellyn. We try to be no one you've heard of. Morrigan is holding a perimeter. We're alone. Tell me what Solas did at Elganon's ritual.
Sounds like you already know.
I need to hear it from you.
Elganon raised his archdemon. Solas got us out of there. We saved a lot of people.
You sound grateful.
Why not? He really did help.
It seems so. He's always thinking about where it ends. How many of his names do you know? God of Lies, Dreadwolf, Fen'Harel. They're titles he earned from enemies, followers, and fractured history. He and I shared another name. Vanan.
Your heart. He meant that much?
Yes, he did. You've spoken to him in your dreams. You felt the power of that mind. His love could burn against me like a bonfire. He seemed so kind, and wise, and sad, and looked at me as if I somehow mattered more than anything around us. For a time, I thought I would have followed anywhere he asked me to.
It must have been horrible when you learned the truth.
How could I have fallen in love with a god and never realized it? Why didn't he tell me? So many things he said. So many half-truths, inevitable in retrospect. And then, he went off to destroy the world, leaving me to clean up his mess.
You mean the Inquisition?
I mean all of this. He let me fall in love with him and then told me we couldn't. Then he told me not to follow, while leaving me just enough clues to find him.
Hold on. You think he wanted you to stop him?
His name is Solas. It means pride. Perhaps he couldn't change his mind himself and hoped that someone else could help him. Or maybe I'm the prideful one, imagining his broken heart so that I never have to face my folly. That I loved someone who made such grave mistakes, that I might love him still.
You almost sound like you're ready to join him in that prison in the Fade.
To give up the world for him? No. We've got to save it first. But after? If there were a way? If he felt the same? If I could leave the world behind and just have him? I don't know.
One thing I've learned in this job is that the people I need the most are people who can tell me when I'm wrong.
We all need that sometimes.
It sounds like that's what you were for Solas. If the two of you were better people together and you were happy too?
I was.
This is all hypothetical anyway. He's trapped in the Fade with no way out.
He's surprised us before. But enough about me. Tell me about you and Emmerich.
What? Who? How?
Morrigan has eyes everywhere.
Oh, of course she does.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. I do not know how you have found your dealings with the Dalish. Whatever my frustrations with them, it was a privilege to be able to help our people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elganon was a reminder of simpler times.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely, and those who tried to remember elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
Like the terrible trickster Fen'Harel who sealed away the gods?
There was truth to their stories. My rebellion had indeed disrupted the lives of those who had been comfortable. And when I created the Veil, I destroyed an empire. Their judgments were fair, if clouded. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And one of the first lessons in the Morn Watch is that the Fade is reality as seen through a smoky mirror.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elganon, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
You and Elganon were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elganon was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The two of you are too much alike. Both of you want to be in charge.
I have no desire to be in charge.
No. You just want to be able to correct anyone who's not doing everything the way you'd have done it.
I see you have been observing me as well during these conversations.
All right. I can see how you and Elganon would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
We would have had a hard time getting out of there without your help.
I did not spend this long preparing you only to lose you to Elganon's machinations. No, I am sorry. That was poorly said. You have earned better from me.
Okay.
When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
I appreciate you saying that. Couldn't have been easy.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, but being afraid to change. Elganon's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I try to avoid entanglements.
Except for Inquisitor Llewellyn.
I said that I resolved to do so, not that I succeeded. She is a good woman. Growing close to her was selfish of me.
Do you regret it?
I live with countless regrets. Some of them I have grown to cherish more than my victories.
Thank you for sharing that. So, what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
Lucanus? Lucanus!
And so you have your victory. You live, and Gillenane does not. Are you not proud to finally reach this moment? Or did you think you'd win the day without some painful sacrifice?
That dragon raised Minrathous. Where were you?
No one's retreating.
We'll all die.
Archdemons attacking the North Wall.
You and your friends stood against the gods. Your courage is laudable.
Solas.
But mortals cannot win this battle. I am sorry it is what must be.
I did everything for you, Rook. You're worthless.
Varric never believed in you.
You're no leader.
You were never up to it.
You failed us all.
What failure cuts your conscience now, I wonder?
Bellara!
Your friend is dead.
Dead and gone. It's your fault.
Your fault.
Regret, like all emotions, is a powerful thing. It can bruise us, break us, or blind us to the truth. Regret is even strong enough to serve as the lock on a prison built to hold gods. But such a prison can hold any captive. Even you.
No!
You were never ready to make the sacrifices that leadership requires. So through our connection, I molded you into someone the prison would accept in my place.
Varric?
Your work is done.
He seized control of the Archon's palace?
While the Magisterium was in full session, only the Venatori seem to have survived.
How were the Shadow Dragons?
Still fighting, last we heard. But Elgernon's blighted the city, and the Venatori magically sealed the gates. No one's getting in or out.
Even the city's alluvians went dark. We've got no way to contact the Shadow Dragons. They'd be dead already if not for Solas.
Solas?
He got to Minrathis just before the gates were sealed. He saved some civilians and killed some Venatori.
Now people are rallying behind the Dreadwolf, like he's the only one who can save them.
He'll save them from the Blight or die trying. He's not lying about that. Though I doubt anyone rallying to the Dreadwolf's banner knows that he plans to drown the world in demons once Elgernon is dead.
He can't hurt Elgernon yet. That archdemon makes him invulnerable.
Right. Solas needs to kill it first.
And once that's done, Solas goes for Elgernon with the dagger he took from us.
That's why we need to get to Solas first.
He's not going to be happy when he sees you've escaped from his trap.
That's his problem. He's got the dagger, and the dagger is the only thing that can kill Elgernon. We need to get it back.
We did attempt to create a dagger to replace the one Solas took.
Nice to look at, but it can't cut through enchantments like the real thing.
So it cannot kill Elgernon.
Looks real enough.
But it is not. We don't have the right weapon to take down our target, and we lost too much killing Gillenane. We have no idea where Bellara is, or what Elgernon is doing to her.
And Harding is... she's gone.
I know I'm not the only one who didn't make it off that island. We lost Bellara. We lost Harding. So let's remember them. Remember what they sacrificed. And let's honor them by finishing the job. Get a message to anyone who's still out there. Tell them we're gonna stop Elgernon, and we need their help to do it. Then fix up your gear and take care of any unfinished business. In the morning, we take back Minrathis.
Asher! Get out of my city! Asher!
Did we win?
You're lucky your head's so damn hard.
Tarquin, Viper, you're alive!
Thanks to Solas. He's been the only thing between us and Elganon.
Stay with them. I'm going to talk to Solas.
You are as surprising as ever. Even I could not have escaped that prison. For you to manage it.
Varric believed in me when nobody else did.
He was a good man.
He was always there for me. Except that he wasn't. Because you killed him.
What happened at the ritual site?
I know what happened. I remember the truth now. You did something to my mind to make me keep seeing him.
Yes. I was wrong to do so.
You knew Varric was dead the whole time, but you kept pushing me not to see it. Why? How?
I was desperate. Unless I escaped, the world would fall to tyranny and blight. The only tool I had was my tenuous connection to you.
Blood magic.
As I said, I was wrong.
You know what the worst part is? Part of me was excited about proving myself to the Dreadwolf.
Rook.
That's how you do it, right? You get people so eager for those little scraps of approval that they never see the knife coming.
I am sorry. I betrayed you because I believed that only I could save this world. But I have failed, Rook. I have not stopped Elganon. I have not even defeated his archdemon. The victories that have been won since Elganon and Gillenane escaped are yours, not mine. If we are to save this world, we must work together.
You've got to be kidding me. You just finished apologizing for the last time you betrayed me.
I know. I cannot change the past.
How stupid do you think I am? The best possible version of this is that we kill Elganon, and then you finish your ritual and drown the world in demons.
If joining me and stopping Elganon requires the veil to stay in place, then I will pay that price unflinching. I swear by my own foolish pride, by love for friends I failed and hurt, by everything I ever held as sacred. I will leave the veil untroubled. It will never come down by my hand. Now, if you will come with me, I can show you what has prevented me from reaching Elganon. And you can tell me your plan.
We were trying to get to the Divine's Manor in the center of the city.
And the Blight tendril connecting to the Archon's palace. Yes, I thought the same. But some intelligence guides the tendrils. It has prevented me from getting closer. If you accompany me, I can finish apologizing for the last time I betrayed you.
A lot of them up ahead.
Let us see if they've heard the legends of the Dreadwolf. Begone, Darkspawn! Do you feel it? The Blight reacts to my presence. There. That must be the source of whatever intelligence guides it. If you can destroy the mind guiding the Blight, we may be able to reach the palace. I can accompany you no further. My presence will only draw the Blight to you.
Laura, what did they do to her?
will defeat the Archdemon. Once Elganon is mortal, the final blow must be yours. I can think of no one better to wield this.
I thought I'd have to fight you for that dagger.
Then this has been a day of surprises for us both. Good luck. When next we meet, let us be standing over Elganon's body!
Made it.
The battle was fierce, but we never faltered.
Apologies for missing the War Council. We got inside the city with the Veil Jumpers.
It gave us a chance to finally strike back at the Venatori.
Whatever you did unblocked entrances to the Divine's Manor. It also destroyed some of the Blight.
Well, we still have time. For now, hang on. We'll see if there's a way for the Wardens to help you once Elganon is dead.
No, you can't. That's what I needed to tell you. When Elganon was in my mind, I was kind of in his too. I could feel him. His mind, his magic, his life force. It's tied to the Veil. His life is the only thing holding the Veil in place.
I felt the Veil weaken when Gillenane fell. I expect that when Solas imprisoned the other gods, he bound them all thus. And now that Elganon is the only one left...
If we kill him, the Veil collapses.
Which is why Solas gave me the dagger. He swore to me that the Veil wouldn't fall by his hand, knowing the whole time it would fall by mine. His betrayals are creative, I'll give him that much. We still have to kill Elganon. So what can we do? Can we tie the Veil to something else to keep it in place?
For an enchantment like that, we'll need a specific substitute. The Veil was made to be tied to the ancient elven gods.
Then let's tie it to Solas. He's the only elven god left.
Binding him will require drawing his blood with the lyrium dagger.
And I doubt he's going to like the idea.
I can be very persuasive, but it will be risky. What about this?
The dagger we made while you were trapped in the Fade.
Once Elganon is dead, odds are good that Solas will need to do something else to complete his ritual. This dagger looks identical, but it can't go through enchantments like the real thing. So if he tries to use it...
The backlash of such magic would render him helpless.
Unless he notices. You really want to try a bait and switch on the Dreadwolf?
Is there any chance at all, that he would listen to reason?
Speaking from the heart, Inquisitor?
Varric tried to reason with him, and he died for it.
As did Mythal when Solas took her power.
But we have you, Morrigan. You have Mythal's memories. And we have the essence of the other fragment of Mythal from the Crossroads.
Such power, even fragmented, is not to be taken lightly. Hold it for now, and when the time comes, if you believe the Dreadwolf's heart can be turned from this course, I shall try.
Because of everyone here, and everyone we lost to get here, we've got options for dealing with Solas. For now, let's focus on Elganon. He's in the palace above us. We'll climb the Blight Tendril together. Once Solas takes down the Archdemon and renders Elganon mortal, we hit him with everything we've got.
Damn right we do.
Time's running short. Stock up on supplies, pay your respects, and say goodbye to the people you love. Be ready to go when I signal.
Bad news, everyone. Elganon's forces are gathering outside.
They mean to prevent you from reaching their master.
Our people will set up barricades, and we'll hold the enemy as long as we can. You need to start climbing.
What?
It's okay! There's gotta be another way up! I'll help Solas. Just get to the throne room.
Solas!
I've got this! Go!
The dread wolf cannot save you. He cannot even save himself. Now you understand that none may stand against me. Those who try stand alone.
Laura!
Impossible! No! You will not!
You are mortal, Elganon. Enjoy it while it lasts. It is done. The world owes you a debt, both for defeating Elganon and for bringing down the Veil. I am sorry for this final betrayal, but I will do what I can to minimize the damage. When you see the old world restored, please, Rook. I do not wish to fight against you.
I don't want to fight you either. But I don't want to see the world go through even more pain on top of what Elganon has done. Do you?
This world is broken, Rook. Because of my mistakes.
This is why you had to use me to escape the prison. It's made from regrets, and you're trapped in yours.
You cannot understand the...
Destroying everything won't erase your mistakes. You have a chance right now to save the world. Bind yourself to the veil and stop it from falling.
I cannot. To stop now would dishonor those I have wronged to come this far.
Even if those you wronged asked you to stop?
Venan.
You think you've gone too far to come back? But you're wrong. I am here, walking the Denansharal with you.
I lied. I betrayed you.
I forgive you. All you have to do is stop.
Irabolas, Venan. But I cannot. Long before we met, I failed my oldest friend. She died for that failure. If I leave the veil in place, I am destroying the world she wanted. And I will have... She will have died for nothing.
And whose fault is that, Dread Wolf?
Morrigan.
One appellation among many I wear. I have been advisor to Orlais, Witch of the Wilds, daughter of Flemeth, and once, long ago, an old friend.
Mythal lives on in her, and in this.
Mythal.
I pulled you from the Fade you loved and sent you into war. I used your wisdom as a weapon, and it broke you.
The things that I have done
are not for you alone to bear, my friend. The many wrongs we did together. I release you from my service.
Banal Nadas, Arlathma, Venan.
My life force now sustains the veil. With every breath I take, I will protect the innocent from my past failures. The Titan's dreams are mad from their imprisonment. I cannot kill the Blight, but I can help to soothe its anger. I will go and seek atonement.
But you do not have to go alone.
Arkelas virbanal.
Tel banal arama, virsheral malasa, belanaris.
Thank you, Rook.
With Elgar'nan and Gillenane dead, and the Inquisitor finally reunited with her true love, it looked like one of the biggest stories this world had ever seen was finally drawing to a close.